You know, the only thing that haunts me about that intro is the fact that we are now halfway through the year. And because I did one, I'm going to have to do another one next year.
You don't have to. You just
I
put
have
it upon
to.
yourself.
I have to. It is a thing that has to be done. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks for joining
Thanks
us.
for joining us.
I feel like it's been longer than 2 weeks. I think because we've done so much in the last 2 weeks, I feel like it's been longer.
Well, there was a holiday tucked in there.
Yeah.
And also, it's been a busy couple of weeks at work. It feels like everyone's had like a long 2 weeks from people I've talked to on Instagram and whatnot. It just feels like
it's just been like since like
with the holiday and with
Memorial
everything
Day,
in between.
and then like the weird poisonous air for a little bit.
Oh yeah, not everyone had to deal with that, by the way. We are Baltimore based, so we had a wonderful encounter with Canadian wildfire smog over the last week. For like 3 days, it was like it wasn't as bad as New York City if you read about that disaster, but it was definitely smoggy. Katie almost had a coughing fit walking out the door because she was not aware of what was going on until it was in her lungs.
That was like Wednesday morning or whatever, and I was like, it smells like burning tires out here.
It's been I'll tell you this, I'm getting real sick and tired of unprecedented events.
Yeah.
I'm just real sick. By definition, they can only happen once, so how many can we have? Anyway, yes, long couple of weeks.
We
are glad to see you. See you all.
Hear from you. Engage with you.
I'm going through the comments. Kim is here. Welcome, Kim.
Hello, Kim.
You do know where we're not going. We are tragically not going to make it back to the Orlando, Central Florida area this year. And I'll just go ahead and rule out California for you too. So we're not doing any more Disney travels. We did 2 California
trips in less than
the same year.
Less than 10 months, so we're not doing that again.
Those are not on our to-do for the summer. But we are not without plans for those things in the longer term future. Yeah. Kaylee's in. Thank you for coming, Kaylee. We are always so glad to see you. And Mandy!
I'm glad you enjoy our live stream.
My hope is to just everything that we use from like a royalty-free sound library that we pay for access to. So like I feel like if we can just like overuse them enough, like they just become our tracks, and then everyone who hears them is like, hey.
I will say for everyone that uses like the same song in their YouTube channel, I do associate that song with your channel.
Yeah.
So like if I hear it in someone else's channel, I'm like, hey, that's so-and-so song. But it's really just free music to use.
Or think about April from Thrifty Nerdy Mom.
But that's also was used by 2 Tickets to Adventure.
Yeah, Chad and Vanessa were using that one briefly. I don't think they're doing it anymore though. Yeah. Keeping Up in Disney, Jamie and Ari, welcome. I think you guys may not be in the know on some of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. So this will be interesting to get everyone's take. I don't know who we've told and who we haven't told, to be honest. I know that there are some close friends that know at least one of the destinations we're talking about here tonight. Let's just go ahead and dive in because I feel like I'm gonna wind up tripping all over myself.
Let's do it.
So Our socials, as always, The Real Tim and Katie on Instagram. We've been trying to be more active there. Tim and Katie on Facebook for all you Facebook lovers that only use Facebook. Everything carries over from Instagram. Dare I even mention our website? Because we're never going to be caught up. We're just never going to be caught up. Guys,
it exists.
I have to be honest with I started using ChatGPT to try and catch myself up on blog posts. I'm still not able to keep pace. Like, it's just,
Well, that's
we can only crank out content or blog posts. We can't do both.
The AI also can't speak to our personal experience from the day. It can only provide like history of the
But if you tell it, who's used ChatGPT here? I'm sure that someone has, because it's too ingrained in our society now for no one to have used it. Basically, you feed it prompts, and everything up until 2021 it can pull from like a bank of knowledge, but like after September 2021 it can't like pull anything out of thin air anymore. It can't do like a web crawl to figure out what you're talking about. You have to phrase it in a way that it knows what you're talking about. So like if you're doing like video descriptions like we often are, we can feed it information about like, this is a thing that we did at this park on this day. Can you turn that into a paragraph? And it'll spit out a paragraph, but the paragraph will be like full of errors. So I have to like go back to it. It speeds me up like a little bit, but it doesn't really do what I want it to do. It might in like 3 more years though. And by that point, it'll just replace all of us anyway and we won't have jobs. 2 tickets, welcome.
No, you caught us in a weird segue.
I have had
side note about chat.
Segues. Well, no, segue is the connective tissue. Yeah. Sidebar, whatever.
Side note, whatever.
There's gonna be a lot of that tonight because I am just fried.
But we're
going places.
We're getting into it.
So anyway, our socials, you know what they are. Check out our website if you feel so inclined. We will eventually try to have it somewhat up to date, but that is neither here nor there.
You didn't miss anything. We literally were talking about how we're behind on the website again, and that Tim was trying to use.
And I'm using cheat codes to try and catch up.
And it's not working. That's it.
Okay, so let's talk about what we actually came here to talk about, right? So this summer, in summer, we also went to see Frozen on Broadway on Thursday night. Well, not technically on Broadway, but like traveling Broadway.
Broadway, Hippodrome, whatever.
Yeah.
The touring show.
Touring show. It was cute. I mean, it's the same show that they put on in the New York Broadway theater. It's just on a smaller stage.
It got shut down due to COVID and never came back, so now it's touring and it's cute.
It was great. Anyway, another sidebar.
Yep.
We're talking.
We're doing great. So
we're going to be talking a lot. We're going to be talking a lot tonight about things that we have on our calendar for summer 2023. Now, this is not all the traveling that we're doing this year. It is, at this point, I would say the majority of the travel we're doing this year. Some stuff that comes later is family only and will probably not be vlogged. And some other stuff is like we're not traveling per se, but we're taking some time off to do stuff locally. So like there's more stuff coming, and some of it y'all know and some of it y'all don't. So let's talk about what we're doing specifically this summer. This is where the bulk of our annual travel budget has gone. And it's not like it's going to go. It's gone. Like we already have all this stuff pretty much prepaid at this point. So it's safe to talk about it now as the thing that's really going to happen each of these different trips.
Including, I think, travel insurance.
Included? No, not travel insurance. Not travel insurance yet. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about all the things. So I want to get to there's like a big meaty piece of information that a lot of people don't have that we're really excited to share.
Oh.
But that's going to come at the end.
Okay.
Because I was looking at how to like organize all of this, and I was like, yeah, we're doing something in June, we're doing something in July, we're doing something in August, but they're not all like equally weighted. Like one is a quick there and back. One is like a slightly longer one, but like not really enough time to like put our boots in the ground. And then there's another trip that's like really big and exciting, and we can't wait to share it with you. So we kind of sorted them in order of the time we're going to spend there and how significant we think it's going to be to our channel. So for that reason and that reason only, we're going through our June plans, and then we're going through our August plans, and then we're going to circle back to July. So bear with us. I know it's out of order. It's not a mistake. There is a plan. There's usually a plan. It usually goes terrible. Let's see what happens. So our June trip, we are leaving on Thursday. So this is a very quick there and back trip. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. We are actually not going down for the sake of content, but we were so very close to something that we absolutely could not miss out on, that we went ahead and just plugged in that we were going to go up a day early. It's actually, we're going down for a family reunion to the North Carolina, borderline South Carolina area. And we knew that when you go to the North Carolina-South Carolina border, there was something rather significant.
Really dangling this. You are.
There's something rather
just,
significant.
Like, so teasing right now.
Well, a lot of people know what it is by the time.
I know, but it's like, get to the point.
I'm telling stories.
Have you figured it out
you
yet?
Tell stories.
I do not tell stories like that. Are you kidding me?
You tell stories. You tell jokes with the punchline first, and then you walk me through the entire joke, and then you tell me the setup.
It's only because I only remember the punchline. It's pretty much fine.
Guys,
anyway,
we are going to Carowinds.
It's Carowinds.
It's Carowinds. We are gonna be.
You didn't figure it out.
We are going to be, or if you didn't figure out from all the context clues that, for like over the course of the last week, probably, we are going on Friday, this coming Friday, to Carowinds, and it's going to be like so quick. We're not even honestly going to be there for a full park day. We're not going to be able to stay from open to close because, as we said, there is family stuff going on. Katie's whole family is gathering near the North Carolina South Carolina border for a personal event. We're going to be down there for that. So we won't be vlogging anything that we're doing this weekend except this, but we had to do this. So I will say we have the all-day dining plan because we wanted to beta test it for some of our friends that are going later. We also, oh yeah, that's right, it was family. We are going to also be working with, what's it called in Cedar Fair language? Fast lane. Yeah, it's not quick queue, it's not fast track, not fast pass, it's not fast track, it's fast lane. So our hope is that we can just burn through all of the coaster credits as quickly as possible and then like take it slow. But probably what's going to happen is that various rides are going to go down and we're going to wind up chasing wait times like we always do. And we're going to do the park entirely inefficiently and run back and forth all over the place. That's how we do theme parks, if you haven't been watching for long enough to know.
Great.
So things we're most excited about, definitely Copperhead Strike, which is pictured here, a coaster we've heard a lot of things about. Many of our friends have said,
on Copperhead Strike.
Many of our friends have said it's awesome, but then why they say it's awesome is like the stuff that would make it perhaps not as awesome for us. Like hang time for me on a roller coaster is not the key element. It actually kind of makes me enjoy the ride less if I spend too much time upside down because it shifts my blood pressure around.
I've heard things like it's so scary. And from like, I think like Super Enthused, Jackie said it feels like she's going to fall out when she rides it. So, oh my
speaking
God.
of.
Yeah, we heard you mention that on your podcast, Jackie, that it's like terrifying. So I like thrill. I don't know if I like scary, but I'm happy to see.
Sam recommends Hurler.
Well, that's controversial too, right?
That is controversial.
I don't know. The one I'm excited for is Fury 325 because my only Giga experience is Intimidator 305, and that ride, my body is not ready for that ride. Like my skin melts off when I ride that ride. I've only done it once, and I really, really am not itching to go back. But I've heard this is a probably more tolerable Giga experience. So I'm excited for that one.
So what I've heard repeatedly is that Copperhead Strike, like you spend so much time in that hang time position as you slow down that it feels like you're kind of that you're gonna fall out. So
okay,
we'll see. I mean, I've heard really good things about Copperhead Strike too, but I'm excited to do it. If it's a one and done for me, then it's a one and done for me. But Fury is definitely, and I guess we have to do Hurler now. Honestly, like I wasn't.
Well, I mean, if it's what does Jackie say? She likes it. It's fun and easy. I mean, I like fun and easy rides too. I don't have to be terrified or. Now
that's not good. That's not good to hear. The stand-up is the one.
I've only been on one stand-up, and it was one of my worst coaster experiences ever. I've heard that this new SeaWorld one is much better. So.
I will say that, per Katie's note on like the 1 giga that we've been on, Intimidator 305 is very, very rough. It's like sorry, I'm using the wrong adjective. It's not rough. It's just powerful. Like it's raw, and it feels like you're riding a freight train.
I got the same feeling on Intimidator as I did in Mission Mars. What is that ride in Epcot?
Mission Space.
Mission Space.
Yeah.
I got the same feeling that I did on that ride, which is bizarre. I think Chad has a good point up here. Do Nighthawk first because it's the worst ops. Okay, we'll have to tuck that into our brains.
Okay.
Get that done.
I mean, with Fastlane, our hope is that we'll be able to clear as many rides as possible. If we don't get all the coaster credits, then we don't get all the coaster credits. And honestly, it's on the East Coast, which makes it a lot easier to get to than some of the other things on this list. But this will be our first time at Carowinds. We're trying to do as much as possible in a limited quantity of time. So Fastlane was kind of a must for us. The 2 rides that are absolutely must-dos are Copperhead Strike and Fury 325. So as long as those 2 are operating, I am having a fun day. Doesn't matter what.
And this part, I sound like I'm just saying things, but I did listen and watch Sam's Expedition Theme Park history video on Carowinds that came out. And I love a park with, some real rich history and, just excited to be there, standing at the, the state line or whatever that's famous. And so
I'm excited to be in 2 places at once.
Yeah. It's that kind of gimmick. And
I have heard really good things about Afterburn.
Yeah.
That one I've heard good things about too.
And that's the ride that used to be Top Gun, right? Yeah. So
Cedar Fair, it's interesting how much Cedar Fair used to lead on IPs and now doesn't.
Yeah, I guess they just
all the rights eventually revert back to their original owners, and then these rides just become rides.
I guess there was kind of more they sponsored a ride for a while, and when they revert that sponsorship, kind of if Disney loses a sponsorship for one of their rides, it's not sponsored by Kodak anymore or whatever.
Yeah, so Jamie and Ari talking about the RMC upgrade for Iron Wolf that was a stand-up in Great America. Pretty good upgrade, I would say. I've only been on 4 RMCs, but every single one has been a masterpiece. Every single one. It's so good. RMC is just such a great company.
They do one job really well. I mean, maybe they do more than that. They do the rails too, right?
Do
the
more
single
than
rails.
Yeah, and aren't they also do, I'm pretty sure they do prefab. I might be talking nonsense. Roller coaster enthusiasts, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that RMC does more than just hybridization.
I wasn't trying to say they're a bad company. I'm saying they actually do really good work.
I mean, think of it as like a restaurant. Like a restaurant that serves everything is not going to do any one thing super well. But a restaurant that has a specialty,
3 things, they're going to be the best thing.
They're going to be the best at
ever eaten. Okay.
So we are super excited about Carowinds, but I don't want to spend too much time on Carowinds because there's so many other things to get to. So
look forward to that vlog.
That vlog will be pretty quick turn. So you'll see, if you're following us on Instagram, you will see, to the best of our ability, we'll try to put some stuff out as we're doing it. So you know kind of what to expect from the vlog. The vlog will come the week after if I can manage it. Whether or not I can manage it will very much depend on how our weekend of travel goes. So Carowinds, super excited. Coming up this week, August. So we're jumping over July, but we will circle back. So in August, very early August actually, we're going to be going somewhere that I think you've never been, right? Or have you?
The only time I've been there is when we had that layover at the airport before Hawaii.
Okay, so that was it. You touched down and then you flew right back up.
The transfer, I guess it really wasn't a layover.
So we had, this was, if you were on our live streams, maybe 2-3 cycles ago, we were talking about a kind of impulse expense that we invested in.
Definitely on impulse.
Probably, we're not done spending for sure, because this is probably one of the most expensive places in America that you can go. Key thing there, we're staying in continent. In August, we are flying out to Vegas. We are taking
there's more than one song about Vegas.
How many 3 business days? So like a 5-day visit. So it's not going to be like a crazy long visit. We're definitely not going to get to do everything. we had planned to go to Vegas someday because there was a bunch of stuff on our list that we wanted to do there. I was interested vaguely in the Adventure Dome, which is an indoor theme park, but honestly, like the more I saw about it, the more I was like, that's not really going to be a full day activity because we're really just going to go for the coaster credits. Everything else is a flat ride. Yeah. But I am excited to do some other stuff.
There is a lot to do. It's a lot of touristy, gimmicky stuff, but that's kind of our thing. And it's a lot of people's thing.
It is. Some of this is Vegas, Jackie. You were correct. Yes, but this is a very short trip. This is not going to be like a do everything in one go type trip.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we're going to have to leave some stuff behind.
Yeah.
But what we are going to do. So, where we're staying, we're flying in, and we'll have probably a full day in Vegas to do whatever we want, barring the availability of our hotel room. This is the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. It's kind of off the strip. It's a little bit tucked away.
Are there any hotels that aren't casinos in Vegas?
No, that's not a thing.
That's what I thought.
That's not a thing. I will say too, guys, our vlogs are not going to be anywhere near as exciting. Our Vegas vlogs, that is, are not going to be anywhere near as exciting as the ones that Jackie and Sam just put out. So,
or like anyone else who's been to Vegas recently.
Go watch those if you want all the fun touristy stuff. We are going to be packing in as much as we can of all the things that we really, really wanted to do. And not all of it is vloggable. Some of it is like no cameras allowed. I'll tell you what is vloggable, and that is the Strat, which I think is not the next slide, but the next slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Strat. I'll go. I know that last one looked interesting. Don't worry, I'll back it up.
Worst angle of someone jumping off the
it's
Strat.
The best angle.
That just looks
because that's exactly what I'm going to look like.
That looks like the screenshot out of like a true crime documentary.
We have wanted to do the Strat forever. It used to be the Stratosphere Hotel, and before that it was something else. And we've always been very excited in this one key activity. Now they have thrill rides on top. They have Insanity. They have the Sky Shooter, Drop Tower, Shot Tower. That's what it is. Sky Shot, which Jackie and Sam did, which looked really fun. So we might do that. I wasn't thinking about it, and then I saw the vlog, and then I'm like,
I keep telling myself I'm going to do the Strat thing, but I don't know if I'm going to chicken out.
Well, this is what I'm committed to doing. I am committed to doing the Sky Jump because I've since our first time ever researching Vegas, this is the one thing I really wanted to do. So this might not happen day one, but it will happen while we are there. Now, whether or not Katie joins me,
I really want to do it. I just don't know about my body.
I mean, here's the thing. When we get up there, when we stand on the ledge,
I know that's the thing.
That's when it kicks in. Like, I can drink all day and be like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I get up there and I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. But what keeps me on the platform is the fact that it's prepaid, right? So like you already pay, and they say many times in other people's videos that we've already watched through, like you don't get your money back.
Yeah.
So if you chicken out, that's on you. I'm just going to jump. If I need to be pushed, then so be it. I trust the system.
Yeah.
It is terrifying, but it should be fun. JVH Adventures, I missed you, man. How you doing?
We're pretty good.
We are burnt out.
Okay. We're excited about upcoming things.
Yeah, we're burnt out on life, not on vlogs and travel.
Normal life. But we do our jobs so we can go do fun things. And hopefully y'all get to do some fun things too.
So I'll answer Kim's question too. Are we going to any of the circus shows?
I don't think we've planned to.
We have not planned to do circus shows.
The event we're going for, we don't know like how long we're going to be there every day. So it may be come a day where we're like, well, we're kind of done and it's 5 o'clock and we maybe can go check some things out.
There's
and we know Vegas doesn't exactly like close down. So
Coaster Mom's in too. Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. We got a great crowd in here tonight.
It's honestly a bigger crowd than I expected. So thank you all for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Really means a lot to us. So I will also back up one and say this is one thing that we're very, very excited for, that we are confirmed to be doing on our first day, but we're not going to be able to vlog it. We will be able to vlog like the outside, the exterior, the gift shop, and all of this. And I'll tell you what this is. This is the It, as in the Stephen King It.
Pennywise the Clown.
Pennywise the Clown escape room. It's licensed IP. It's supposed to be one of the most immersive escape rooms in the country. There are 2 more by the same company. One you've probably heard of if you have Facebook ads like I do that are constantly pushing it to you, which is the Saw-themed escape room. We looked at doing that one. To do it well, you really need a larger group because they split you up. And if you only have 2 people, you have to work like 5 times as hard to get through everything. Yeah. Now, they'll usually pair you with other people in escape rooms anyway, but unfortunately, we're going in the middle of the day. And as of now, there's no one else in our group. So we were just like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. If someone shows up, they show up.
We're probably going to fail epically.
We're probably going to fail. So we'll have fun. And that's the key thing, is just to have fun and be immersed.
I hope we get to see as much of the production of this as possible.
It's a multi-room.
Promo photos make it look really cool, so I hope we get to see as much of it as possible. But I don't have high hopes on us escaping, not because we're necessarily bad at escape games. We're actually not so bad. And we've done quite a few.
It's because we're missing Kaylee. We'll be missing Kaylee.
We're missing our star Kaylee.
Our superstar.
But also sometimes it is a little easier, even if you are working with strangers, the more people working on things at the same time, the easier it goes. So who knows? Maybe some people will stumble into our group. But
I did see that JBH was just at the Disney 100 exhibition. So I'm hoping that there will be a vlog from that experience. I've seen one from, actually, 2 other people in the chat. I've seen one from Mandy and also from Kim from Soaring Over the Magic. It's looked really, really cool, and
we almost squeezed it into
I hope we get a chance to make it.
But a trip in PA, but we just didn't want to do too much. Sometimes you can't do it all.
And Coaster Mom asked where we were going, and 2 tickets bailed us out because I didn't get to it fast enough.
Thank you.
But thank you guys. We appreciate you. All right, I will say before we move on, there's other stuff that we're considering doing in Vegas that we have not hard booked yet. There's lots of stuff that we want to just kind of walk around and see. I've been to Vegas before. Katie has not. I have been to Vegas when I was younger and had no control over my itinerary and obviously not able to enjoy like 90% of what Vegas has to offer because I was not of age. So this will be a very short trip, but it will be a whirlwind trip full of stuff, as much as we can pack in. I don't know how the vlogs will look, but there will be vlogs. And the reason, just to bring it all together, that we are going to Vegas is the geekiest, nerdiest thing that either of us will ever do in our lives.
But I'm super excited.
I am super excited. I don't know if it'll be the only time we ever do this, but if it is, this is the time.
Yeah.
We're going to a Star Trek convention.
Woo!
So the reason that we were lured into this is because not true, not we. I grew up on Star Trek Voyager, and Katie has been indoctrinated into Star Trek Voyager after we.
I liked Star Trek already.
So
but he's fallen back in love, and I've fallen in love with Star Trek Voyager.
We both liked Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I really, really liked Star Trek Voyager when I was younger. I started rewatching it because I wanted to watch the new Star Trek shows, and they all kind of tie together now, and they're bringing back some of my favorite characters from the old shows. And to summarize, basically the entire cast of Star Trek Voyager is coming to this event. So it's very expensive. It's not probably going to be an every year thing. And even if it was practical to make it an every year thing, I'm not sure I'd want to go every year. But if this turns out to be a once in a lifetime experience, good news. We will be vlogging it for you. So whether or not you're into Star Trek, there will be at least one Star Trek vlog on our channel featuring as many people as we can possibly get engagement from in the Star Trek universe. And hopefully we will have good things to say about our first event from Creation Entertainment, because I know they host a lot of cons up and down the East Coast. And to some extent, the Midwest too, I think.
Yep. So anyway.
Oh, Coaster Mom's been. Oh, that's the Star Trek experience. So, terrible news. The Star Trek experience is gone. But Star Trek lost. So this event is called the 57-year mission. It used to be called Star Trek Las Vegas, and then I think technically they lost the rights to that title, that name.
Yeah.
So it's not that anymore, but it is basically that, because all the same people are coming, all the same events kind of go on. Creation Entertainment runs the event along with many, many other events all across the nation. So it's well known, and it has 57 years of history just being an event. But the Star Trek experience that you're talking about, I wish we'd gotten to do, because the last
We've seen like a POV.
It was like
on
Rise
YouTube
of the Resistance before it was Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah,
or before Rise of the Resistance existed.
It's so cool. I know someone that
slightly
did that.
lower budget, but yeah.
But I mean, the costumes, like they had real board in there. It was mind blowing.
Mandy,
you did the coaster.
You did the Stratosphere coaster. That's a coaster credit I will never get.
It's gone now,
It's
right?
gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Wow.
Devastating.
You know some cool people.
Yeah. Turns out everyone's way cooler than us.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
So Las Vegas will be coming up in a couple of months. We are super excited. We already have a countdown going, but there is one thing that comes between the June trip and the August trip that we are super, super excited for. And I cannot believe how soon this other trip is going to be. So let's talk about July. In July, we are leaving the country for the first time as a couple. Yeah. We've both been out of country before. Katie's actually been where we're going before, but we have not been out of the country together. We've not booked our own flights ever. This is a whole new experience that we're taking on together. So hopefully we have nothing but good things to say about it, and it's the start of something beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we'd like to do an international
Tim's
trip.
Drum roll, definitely.
You miss Katie trolling me for being so...
He was just... Oh, anyway. I won't get into it, because we need to tell them where we're going.
We do need to tell you where we're going. So,
we're just hanging it over their heads.
July. Technically June 30th, we fly out.
We fly!
This trip sponsored by Jeanna Claire Wise Travel, our dear friend who's helped us plan everything. We would not be able to have done this without her help.
Okay, to be clear, she did not sponsor this trip. We paid for it, but she has... The word sponsor.
I probably should have changed. I should have probably said that differently.
Our friend Jeanna Claire has a travel agency and definitely hooked us up with some great deals and bookings and things like that. So we are so grateful for her. But we did pay for this trip. Just want to be clear.
Is it Fantasialand? Do you want to tell them if it's Fantasialand before I page over?
It's not Fantasialand, but that is a good guess. And and I know you've been paying attention to our bucket list, Ari. So that's really exciting that you know. But it is a bucket list destination.
Two
bucket
list destinations.
Well,
we're clearing
the
two
destination
things.
is that the next slide?
It is.
Okay.
We're going to Efteling!
In the Netherlands.
We have never... Well, Katie has been to Efteling once, and it was many, many years ago. She went as an exchange student for a program with Dutch friends, which was really cool.
It's been 15 years.
It's been 15 years, so none of the cool stuff that is well known. Well, Dreamflight was there.
Dreamflight was there. The Fantasy Forest was there.
Fantasy Forest has always been there, but like Symbolica is what I'm talking. Like getting at Symbolica.
Symbolica's not
all the new mascots.
The Baron wasn't there.
Yeah,
things like that. There are lots of new things, but that iconic entrance was there. I remember that clearly. I still have a little keychain from Efteling, so it was really exciting to I'm definitely gonna like take it back with me and just like hold it while I walk around. So we're really excited to go back. This has been, honestly, I think it was like 5 years ago. Tim was like, "Look at this cool theme park in the Netherlands," and I was like, "I've been there," and he's like, "No, you haven't." And I was like, "Yes, I have."
And I was like, "Divorce."
So this is. Yeah, we're really excited. I'm really excited to go back. I can't wait to walk through the Fantasy Forest.
I'm really excited to go. I've literally never been. I've seen in other people's. I've honestly never been to a theme park out of the country before, because every time I was leaving the country, I was traveling on someone else's itinerary.
And this is
no one cares about theme parks as much as we do, at least in my family.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, obviously within the chat, that's not the case. But
non-US theme park I've ever been to, but I'm excited for it.
It is such a cool place. If you've ever seen vlogs from this place, and if any vlogs, not ever vlogs, if you've ever seen any vlogs from this place, you will know that this is basically the Disneyland of the region. Like this.
Oh yeah.
This, I was gonna say of Europe, and then I was like, nah, there's others. But there's so many dark ride experiences, which are in such short supply here in the US. There's so many roller coasters that are a little bit even more thrilling than Disney. They do have a dive coaster, which is really cool, but it's a dive coaster with dark ride scenes. Like, it's crazy.
Like, they do not sleep on the theming for like.
I think that's it. Yeah,
that's the Baron.
Yeah, the Baron. Cool dark ride / dive coaster. We need more of those in the US. Honestly, we just need more like on-ride music in the US too.
Yeah, it's just like every time we get a little taste of it, like on a new SeaWorld ride, they'll put some like new music, and I'm like, this is great. Just put it on the whole ride. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for a new dive coaster credit for me.
I'm looking forward. There's many coaster credits between this park and the other park that we're going to. We're looking forward to collecting all of our first European coaster credits, but also just being in a new place.
I do not remember riding any roller coasters. I remember the dark rides. I remember the Fantasy Force. I remember the Madhouse, which those kind of rides, those Madhouses, really, I don't think I've ever seen one in like American United States domestic theme park too.
Sam, Katie got me a Expedition Efteling t-shirt. I almost wore it, but I didn't want to spoil it right out of the gate by having it on the shirt.
It was his birthday present.
So I'm looking forward to sporting the brand.
Your whole Efteling history playlist to gear up for this. So thank you for your work on those videos. It just makes it so exciting.
And everyone, please go check out Expedition Theme Park if you want more history on Efteling. If you've never heard of this park before, you need to.
Yeah.
Because by the time we go there, we want everyone to know how cool it is, so that you'll be like, whoa, they've been to a cool place.
Yeah. It's very cool.
We are spending 3 days at Efteling.
Because
we got to do it all. So we want to be able to take our time. As far as I'm aware, there's really not anything like a fast pass. If you're a hotel guest, which we are, and we'll get to that in a second, we're able to enter the park a little bit earlier. So we'll be able to clear some of the stuff before it opens to the general public. But otherwise, we're going to be in with the crowds most of the day. Yeah. We are going in peak season as well, which is the summer season. So we just figured, like, plan to have a couple extra days so that we can get it all done and not have to rush. Because honestly, like, there's nothing as cool as being in a theme park for the first time. But a theme park like this, that's so expansive and so cool and so genuinely well themed, I really want to be able to stop and smell the roses. Like, I want to be able to stroll through the fantasy forest. I want to be able to do dream flight multiple times. Like, this is going to be a fun trip, and we want it to be a low stress, low pressure trip.
Yeah.
This is not the only place we're going in the Netherlands.
We're not flying out there for 3 days at Efteling.
That would be a very short trip.
It's the first leg of the trip.
So we're staying, and I have no idea if this is the room we're going to be staying in, but we are going to be staying at the Efteling Hotel. Super excited about that. So we will have somewhere in the Efteling Hotel a room that is fanciful, and they're all kind of themed differently. So like this one is like the Princess Fantasy Suite, which I'm sure will not have.
I'm sorry, that princess over there looks suspiciously like Rapunzel. Which it very well could be Rapunzel, because Rapunzel as a fantasy character is not owned by Disney. But she kinda...
the chair looks suspiciously like Aurora, but I'm not pointing fingers.
I'm just saying. But these rooms are supposed to be like really cutely themed. I've seen some people's vlogs where there's like a tiny little like mouse with its own little like door somewhere.
And to be honest, if I find that, I'm gonna freak out for half a second because I am terrified of mice. But once I realize it's fake, it'll be adorable. Yeah. So like every room's a little bit different, and you never know what you're gonna get until you're checked in. So we will have kind of all the first impressions. We're gonna try to get everything as we go. Part of our travel day will be checking into the Efteling Hotel. And I will say, as thanks to our friend Jean-Claire for setting all of this, thank you to our friend Jean-Claire. I always stage the sentences wrong. Have you noticed that? Yeah. Our friend Jean-Claire did us a solid and set up transportation in between the airport and Efteling. So we're flying into Amsterdam, which is not exactly close to Efteling, but the Netherlands is a pretty small country.
It is.
So we're going from Amsterdam airport to Efteling Hotel direct.
Which is in a city called Kaatsheuvel, which I'm probably saying wrong.
We're really trying to brush up on our Dutch a little bit, but like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna be obvious Americans. So it's like, thankfully, we've heard there's not much of a language barrier.
My experience with Dutch people is that they all speak more than one language, including English, and they probably know English better than we do.
Most every country knows English as well as we do, but they also know their own languages and we don't. So we hate that, and we're trying to better ourselves.
Yeah.
But in Efteling, I don't think we'll have to worry about it too much. Transferring to Efteling and the other places we want to go, maybe a little bit more, but that's why we've enabled international calling. So we can use Google Translate and all of that. So Efteling Hotel is going to be our first destination. We're going to stay there 4 nights. The first night is all going to be like just settling in. So we're planning to spend some time at the pool, explore the grounds. I don't think we'll have a formal resort tour because I think it's just going to be too much to manage with everything else we're doing.
It would eat like half a park day.
But we will take you, we'll just take the camera with us when we walk around, and hopefully you'll be able to get some sense of like what the hotel is like, which is all we're going to be doing because ultimately the hotel is to sleep in. Oh, thank you. That takes a lot of weight off my shoulders, to be honest. Hearing that it's super easy to get from.
I think a train is how like Sean and Charlotte do it too.
Yeah.
I think, or a bus.
I will be honest with y'all and say that we're very nervous about international travel because we've never done it on our own before, and this is our first ever trip. So
yeah,
I think having the camera will honestly help a little bit. Because I feel like I always like put on a good front for the camera, like, oh, everything's fine. I'm not anxious at all, unless it's a water ride, in which case you know how I react. But we are a little bit nervous, but we're very, very excited. So I'm sure that everything will go perfectly, and this will be the start of a wonderful tradition of traveling internationally at least once a year. At least that's my hope. Toverland!
A Jackson Park.
So we would not go to the Netherlands without hitting Toverland as well as Efteling. We have been kind of interested in Toverland ever since the first time we stumbled across a vlog from Toverland. It's very similar in nature and in theming to Efteling, but it's on a smaller scale. Now, Toverland, when we booked it, we told everyone we wanted to try and get 2 days there. Well, our travel agent consulted with the surrounding public and the people that were planning vacations in that area, and pretty much everyone said, you really are not going to need 2 days. So I don't know how big Toverland is. I'm not sure of the square footage, but I have seen many vlogs from Toverland from various people who have visited. It looks like a wonderful place, and it never truly looks like busy or crowded. So I'm hoping that we luck out and we're able to do everything we want to do in one day. We do only have 1 day there. In the end, we decided to go ahead and make peace with that so that we can have a little bit more time to travel, slow everything down a little bit, and not rush. So Toverland will be a 1-day visit, but we will have a vlog from our 1 day. They also have a pretty liberal on-ride filming policy.
Yeah.
They publish it on their website, which is very, very helpful.
Very helpful.
And Efteling, by the way, although they do not publish it, they do allow chest-mounted GoPro on the majority of the attractions. On some of the slower attractions, we can even take the G7X, but on most of the roller coasters, at least we'll be able to take you with the GoPro. So we'll be packing our chest harness. We'll be trying to give you as much of the experience as we can. We're trying as American tourists not to be annoying and get in everyone's way. So I can't guarantee you the most immersive experience of your lives, but we are excited to show you whatever we can and take in as much of the experience as we can for ourselves. Our visit to Toverland, coincidentally, happens to be right after they opened the new Avalon expansion. So this area kind of already exists because Phoenix, the roller coaster you saw on the previous slide, is like one of their tentpole attractions. But this new Avalon area was expanded out underneath of Phoenix. So this expansion, this whole land, which has been going up lightning fast, I've been following the construction on Instagram, this opens on July 1st. We will be there on July 4th, which was just perfect. Yeah. So I don't know how crowded that area will be, but I'm excited to explore. They have a couple of dark rides here. The boat ride, as you can see, the track currently goes around that. Well, you can't see my mouth because this is how StreamYard works. But to the right of this image, you'll see Phoenix going up its inversion. And then down there in the center, that's a brand new fly ride that's coming in, a flat ride that flies you around in circle. You've seen a million like them. We're probably not going to do that specific thing.
They're really cool to look at.
They have a lot of great kinetic energy.
For me. I think that looks like a little drop tower thing.
Yeah,
like
little parachutes.
Little parachutes. I could do that.
Yeah, that actually went in. I think the tower was completed a couple days ago.
It's really cool because I really don't think we've ever been to like a brand spanking new area. I mean, we've done brand spanking new rides before, but like a whole area besides, I guess the closest one would be like Chocolate Town.
Chocolate Town was brand new when we went, and also Wildwood Grove at Dollywood was the newest area of the park when we arrived.
But it was not like
it was not fully expanded.
Fresh, you know.
Yeah.
Like this is
gonna be like, you know, watch out for wet cement.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to see all of this, and we're super excited to get to Toverland anyway. There are more roller coasters there than I thought there were, so we do have some credits to collect, but mostly it's just about like enjoying the ambience of the park, the atmosphere. They have a really cool water show that kicks off towards the end of every day. It's like a wizard controlling water. I'm super excited to see all of this stuff.
It kind of gives us like Islands of Adventure vibes a little bit.
It does, but it's like it's less intense than Islands of Adventure, and I think in like a good way, not in like a I wish there was more thrill here.
I think it is kind of similar to like the Wildwood Forest.
It is. It's like a whole. It's a whole park of Wildwood Forest.
Yeah. So.
And also, I will say, you guys know how I feel about Rapids rides. I'm not super thrilled about the water rides that we're absolutely going to have to do at Efteling, but at Toverland, I will say the Rapids ride and the Flume ride at Toverland, they look manageable. They look like they will not kill me.
You'll find out. I'm sure if we can get it on video, you'll still be freaking out.
So while we're attending Toverland, we will be staying 2 nights in the Hotel Greats, so like it's in the picture, GR8, and I think it's pronounced Sevenum. If I'm wrong,
what was that?
I'm wrong. Sevenum. Sevenum. I keep wanting to say Severnum because we live near Severna Park, but it's Sevenum.
Seven. What is
that? I mean, it's Dutch, so I don't know.
Sevenum. Okay.
Sevenum.
I know. I did.
What did you think I was saying?
I thought I was hearing something different. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You made me think I was crazy.
No, it's not you that I thought was crazy. I thought my hearing was bad.
Well, it's a weird word.
It is a weird word.
But anyway, it's Dutch.
This is obviously not a fancy schmancy.
Right. It's not 5-star, but it is the closest hotel to Toverland. It's really the only hotel within striking distance of Toverland. Now, we will have to take a bus from this hotel to Toverland because there is no longer any direct access. But the bus drops us off pretty near the entrance to Toverland, so we won't have to walk far, and we won't have to worry about kind of trying to find like ride sharing to get back during the day or in the evening when we're done. And we've heard good things about the hotel as well. It's kind of a weird little setup, but it is right where it needs to be, and I think it's akin to the Hilton experience or the Hampton Inn experience of. I should have narrowed to Hampton Inn to begin with because the Hilton has a wide range of experiences. This is like the Hilton Garden Inn or the Hampton Inn experience of Europe. So we're not expecting this to be luxurious, but we're expecting it to be serviceable. And I will tell you, we will do a room tour of this when we get in.
We just need it to be comfortable, and it looks comfy.
We are excited. We are excited for everything and all the things in between everything. Yeah. The last thing we will be doing on this trip, we are spending a full day in Amsterdam, technically 2, but we are not spending all of the first day doing Amsterdam things. We're basically just commuting back so Toverland, Efteling, and Amsterdam kind of form a triangle, and Toverland and Amsterdam are the largest stretch of the triangle. So it's not exactly identical or equidistant from one point to the next point. We will have drivers a driver picking us up from Toverland, from the Great Sevenum, and taking us back to Amsterdam, where we will be staying at, and I'm going to screw this one up too, NH Collection Amsterdam Grand.
Grand Hotel Krasnopolski?
Krasnopolski. That sounds right. That's the whole thing. NH Collection Amsterdam Grand Hotel Krasnopolski. And I'm probably butchering that. So this is supposedly a refuge from the crowds of Amsterdam. There's a lot in Amsterdam that's exciting to see and do, and people, obviously, it's a big tourist destination. It was even before COVID. So it was always kind of a draw for people to fly into Amsterdam on their way to someplace else, spend a little time there, or if they're doing a Euro trip, Amsterdam is the one place in the Netherlands they have to hit. So we're flying in and out of Amsterdam. We figured we can carve out some time to do Amsterdam things. Now, we're not going to be able to do everything. And there's a lot of things. People in our family have been asking us about the things that surely we must be doing this, that, and the other thing. Amsterdam is what Amsterdam is. We have the time we have. And so what we decided to do outside of the hotel, where we do actually have a spa credit, so we'll be spending that at some point, we're doing a bike and a gondola tour. So we've been trying to train on the bikes at the gym to get back into pedaling shape, because this is an 8-hour thing. Like, it's 6 hours on bikes and then 2 hours on the boats. So I'm not expecting to be chill all day. I think we're going around to see as much as we can of the city with a tour group.
Right. So it's not like 6 hours straight of biking. I'm assuming we're gonna pull off and look at something or take pictures and things like that. But I'm excited to do something a little more. I mean, not that walking around a theme park isn't active per se, but a little more active, touristy, learning some more history about the city, and then putting it all together by hanging out on a boat for 2 hours and the canal sounds great to me. We've debated whether we're going to vlog this experience. I think it kind of depends on how we feel, because it's the very tail end of the trip.
It also depends on how we're paired with other groups. Right. Like, if we wind up having a very small group and everyone is flexible with the fact that we're filming it, then we're happy to film it, and we'd love to have that vlog for y'all. But if it winds up being that, we're in a group of like 16 people, small kids are in the group, like, I probably wouldn't feel great about vlogging that experience, in which case we may capture some Instagram clips and we'll put together a reel, but it might not be a full
or just
vlog.
A little bit of like, highlights for our own memories or something like that may end up in a highlight reel or future intro or whatever. They may appear, but it may not be the best time for a vlog. So
we don't have this Amsterdam day on our content calendar. I'll say that. So as of now, we're not planning to do a vlog of the day. But we are planning to take the GoPro with us. Yeah. So if it turns out that we have an opportunity to put together a great vlog from this experience, we will be happy to do that, and we'll be more than excited to share it with you all. But if it turns out that we can't, then we haven't really missed out on a vlog or a piece of content that we could have had. So I would say plan to not get it, but if you get it, surprise.
Yeah. Sometimes everyone who is a vlogger on this chat knows that sometimes
you gotta take a break.
You just take a break and enjoy and take in the moment a different way.
Yeah. So this might be the day on the trip that we don't vlog, but if we do, then we do. And if we do, you'll see it. Yeah. We will be flying out from Amsterdam Airport the day after this experience. I'm sure we will be exhausted, and we will have one day of recovery before we have to head back to work. So I'm going to be furiously editing as much as I can, as fast as I can. I can't guarantee that everything's going to come out like one right after the other. Like, there might have to be some shifts to accommodate other ebbs and flows of like other stuff that's going on in our lives. But this is going to be a good trip full of content. So we're excited to share as much of it as possible with you all, especially Efteling. We're going to be vlogging at least 2 of our 3 days. I don't know about the third day. The third day might just be for us, but we'll give you what we can. Thank you, Coaster Mom. Yeah. We love you all.
Thank you all.
I just want to say that.
Listening and for your input and excitement. It is kind of, it's like a milestone for us, I guess. Our first like international trip. The furthest we've traveled together was to Hawaii at the end of this year, which was kind of, a test run for a little bit longer time in the plane.
Not that we thought of it that way, but on paper, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because we had a 2-week trip, which many of you have seen in past live streams and in the various vlogs we released. We went to Hawaii for a week, and then we stopped off in Disneyland in California on our way back, and we stayed there for 4 days. So we had a nice long trip to kind of pace ourselves and figure out how are we going to stagger content to be able to kind of like enjoy the trip without burning ourselves out. And this is the result of that is like now we have a full international trip where we're going to try to take you all along. And if this goes well, as I'm hoping that it will, we already have other international trips in back of mind and technically on the calendar, but not yet booked and paid for. So we're hoping that this will be the first of many international trips to come.
I think it was Jamie and Ari that mentioned Fantasialand. Definitely on the list.
It's on the list.
It's
on the calendar, but I can't tell you when on the calendar because it's probably going to move.
Definitely, from our bucket list theme parks that one is a top one for us too.
And Efteling was among the top 5, and Toverland was towards the end of the bottom 10. So like our bucket list theme parks, we're crossing 2 off. And hopefully this will not be our last visit to either of them, but we are excited to visit both of them for the first time. Well, first time for me at Efteling.
And if you love international trips and want to see more of them, don't forget that our friends 2 Tickets to Adventure are heading to Japan later this year.
It's true.
I'm keep hyping them up because I'm so excited for them, and I can't
Not
wait.
to put pressure on y'all to edit the vlogs and get them out as quickly as possible,
but post while they're
there.
Edit
the vlogs and get them out as quickly as possible.
I want to be following them so that while they're there and posting things, I can see what they're doing. So.
Absolutely. So we knew this one was going to be a little bit shorter because we only had so much to talk about. If y'all have questions, feel free to throw them at us. Maybe I can learn to speak by the time one of them gets put in the chat. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and unveil Creator Spotlight. So obviously it's Pride Month of June. We haven't done much to pump it up, so to speak. We have a lot of friends and family in the LGBTQ community. So we wanted to, at the very least, kind of shout out some of the LGBTQ plus creators that we follow. By
all means, not all of them.
Oh, definitely not all of them. But
so if you know any more, feel free to shout them out in the comments for other people to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of these we've brought up before. Thrill Pride, I think, is a new one for the majority of you. He actually found me on Instagram. His name is Andrew. He's really cool. Goes to a lot of the parks that we go to, but takes much better photos while he's there. So thrill.pride is his Instagram account, and he has a ton of great content. Definitely check him out. Erica from Healthy Dose of Disney. She actually works for the Diz, if you're familiar with them. So she's all over the Disney parks, but she actually has her own vlog channel on YouTube with a much more Central Florida expansive focus. She goes all over the place. And some of it is like just lifestyle stuff. Like she'll just post a day in her life, whether it's like, I went to the gym, I went to the market, whatever. But it is really like, she's really good at encouraging people and kind of drawing them into her story.
A down-to-earth, chill channel.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of times.
Probably one of my favorite lifestyle vloggers, to be honest. So
look at that. Man, Thrill Pride is a new friend of mine. Met him after she recommended. Oh, Mandy, that's so cool.
Thank you, Mandy. I did not know that you did that.
Sending friends.
He did not give you credit. No, that's
glad
good.
To know.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Well, pivot back to Erica. She has Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure to check them all out. And then someone who always brings positivity into our day is Rainbow Disney Girl on Instagram. She's a Disneyland cast member. Her name is Natalie, and she is awesome at everything she does. She's really, really invested in the, I don't know what to call it, like the Disney mindset, I guess, of like cast members make the magic. If you are like magical to them, they will be magical to you. There's probably less fluffy ways of saying this, but at the end of the day, we really like following her. She has a lot of good things to say, and she does a lot of deep thinking while being very positive and optimistic. So definitely check her out as well. All of these are creators that we really like following that have really brought light into our lives since we started. So we really wanted to highlight them, but as Katie said, these are not the only LGBTQ plus people that have brought positivity into our lives. So we definitely want to shout out all of the...
We were just
It's not that I ran out of words, it's that I ran out of like oxygen. We definitely want to thank all of the people in the community that have brought positivity to our lives. We know a lot of them in the haunt community. We know a lot of them in the Disney and the theme park community. This should not be the only month that we celebrate them. Right. But seeing as how it is their month, we went ahead and put a couple of them on blast.
A fun, healthy, and safe Pride Month, I will say.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Girl Pride is everywhere.
Andrew's making the rounds. So before we go, guys, our next live stream is going to be the 27th. We will have been to Carowinds by then, but we're not doing a trip report because, as we said, it's going to be a very quick there and back. So we have 2 things on the calendar right now for what we wanted to talk about. We've not been able to hardcore confirm our guest for one of the 2 things. So we're deciding how to place different things. So for now, all I will tell you is that there will be a live stream as usual on the 27th, which is 2 weeks from today. But for the topic, stay tuned, because as soon as we verify, we will nail it down and we'll make a thumbnail and we'll put it out there. That was the quickest live stream we've ever done in the history of the channel.
Because I still feel like I'm catching up on sleep from the weekend. So
we were very busy this weekend, which is ironic because we weren't planning to be busy, but we found a way to be busy.
It's just been a busy couple of weeks.
It has been a busy couple of weeks.
Behind on sleep.
Well, I won't hold everyone hostage because I don't have anything to talk about. But thank you all for joining us. We are so excited to bring you everything that we can from these various destinations. We have a very full, fun summer. And by the way, this isn't all we're doing this summer. This is just all the content that we already know we have planned for the summer. So this is all the stuff that we can confirm for sure we are bringing to you. There will be other stuff in between, I'm sure, because there are many days that are unaccounted for and have been deliberately left blank to leave the door open for adventure. Until next time, guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Katie.
And every day, as we say...
You messed up my moose.
I did. I messed up your moose. Every day
is a new adventure.
And we'll see you again soon.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for joining us.